It's also going to be recorded.
Very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us for this special webinar. My name is Bosschieter and I'm delighted to take you through our African adventure by private jet journey. This adventure has been set up for a majestical 16 days, departing on the 2nd of September 2025. Now, before I take you into the whole journey, I'd like to thank you for joining this webinar and invite you to ask any questions via the chat section. Or alternatively, if you are watching a recording of this presentation, please don't hesitate to call one of our dedicated team if you do have any further questions. So let's make a start and have a look at this wonderful journey, and we'll start with a lovely little video.
Traverse Africa by private jet with Captain's Choice. Discover Egypt, the Masai Mara's Big Five, the gorillas of Rwanda, Victoria Falls, and travel aboard Rous Rail, the ultimate African adventure, only possible by private jet.
And true to the word, it really is only possible with a private jet. There is so much captured in these 16 days. And realistically, if you were trying to do this on your own, you'd be hard pressed to do this whole itinerary using scheduled flights and scheduled services. But for those that are new to Captain's Choice, let me just reiterate some key points about what we do at Captain's Choice. Firstly, we're genuinely all-inclusive. So we do take care of everything for you. Rest assured that the accommodation is hand-selected, that we've got some wonderful restaurants and Epicurean delights set up for you. We have authentic daily experiences and often very exclusive experiences, which I'll touch on in a moment. And one of the key, key aspects of Captain's Choice that we are renowned for the last 30 years is our wonderful on-road teams. So every one of our journeys goes away with an Australian tour manager and an Australian tour doctor. Now, of course, having a private jet, we usually do have more staff on board. We have a ratio of approximately 1 staff to every 10 guests. But these staff are there to look after your well-being, to make sure that all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. We've got some wonderful ground handlers and guides at every destination that will bring the destination to life, but our team are just there to make sure that everything runs seamlessly. Transfer, tipping, a valet luggage service, which I'll touch on in a moment. And before you leave, rest assured that our team here in Australia has organised all your visas for you. So it really is a one-stop shop. If making a booking with Captain's Choice, be it through a travel agent or directly with our team, we will take care of everything for you. Let alone, once you're on the journey itself, no need to put the hand in the pocket because genuinely everything is included. As I said, a journey of this magnitude is almost impossible to do without having a private jet. And with Africa by private jet, we've been running this tour for 20 years and we've used various aircraft, and we've certainly found our 737-700 Boeing aircraft to be the very best for this journey. It has 58 business class seats. Think of it as an Australian domestic business class product, simply because the longest sector that we fly on this itinerary within Africa is 4 hours. So our journeys are usually, flight times are between 1 and 4 hours. That's a great time to connect with new friends and new people that you meet on this tour, but also to let our crew serve you a lovely lunch in most cases, because we tend to fly at lunchtime so that people can get up, enjoy a leisurely breakfast, and we move you from one destination to the next over the lunchtime period so that you can start enjoying the new destination in the afternoon. Now, I mentioned the valet luggage service. It is our expectation at Captain's Choice that at every destination, you simply put your luggage outside your hotel room when we're leaving, and you won't see your luggage until inside your hotel room at the next destination. And that's the way we like to operate. Expedite customs and immigration where we possibly can to make your movement through airports as quickly as possible. And let me just also mention that from a safety element, it's always great having your own aircraft. Should something unfortunate happen, and we know these worldwide events happen, whether it's flooding, earthquakes, something natural or otherwise, it's wonderful to know you've got the security of your own aircraft to move around. So there it is, this wonderful itinerary starting at the very top of Africa and making its way down to the southern point of Cape Town. Our first stop is Cairo. Now, I've always mentioned to everyone, please go to Cairo once. And often people say, I've been once, I don't need to go again. Cairo is a fascinating city, an absolutely bustling city, and at times it's rather over-consuming. But rest assured, we make it as easy as possible for you. You'll get to see the wonderful pyramids of Giza. We'll even walk you to the foot of the Sphinx. Now, that's usually reserved for archaeologists and educational trips, but we can actually get that for you. You see it on the wonderful shot there with the boardwalk. To your right-hand side of that shot, there are big gates, and often when we go there, there'll be thousands of visitors to the area that are standing behind the gates watching us walk right up to the foot of the Sphinx. We stay at the beautiful St. Regis Hotel, absolute 5-star luxury, overlooking the Nile. Will give you a Nile experience, but one of the very key highlights of this trip is an amazing welcome dinner, and that's overlooking the pyramids of Giza. And there's a wonderful shot of it. We have this area as an exclusive area for Captain's Choice. And believe it or not, they turn those floodlights on for us so that you can see the pyramids and the Sphinx. No greater way to start a journey than a welcome dinner of this magnitude. Absolutely wonderful. From Cairo, we make our way down to Luxor. Now, Luxor, very famous for the Valley of the Kings and Queens, and we'll visit a number of tombs, including Tutankhamun's tomb. That isn't Tutankhamun's, but we will visit Tutankhamun's tomb as well. We stay one night in Luxor, and there's a couple of reasons for that. The accommodation is not of the highest standard in Luxor at the moment. We currently stay at the Sofitel. We're debating whether to move to the Hilton. They're just not of the same 5-star standard that you would find in Cairo. So we limit it to one night. But there's a reason we go to Luxor, not only because of the Valley of the Kings and Queens, which we could simply do as a day visit and move on, but we have an extraordinary dinner lined up for you. This dinner is at King Ramses III's tomb, and you can see it there. Only just a snapshot of what you would encounter there that evening. It is an absolutely wonderful dinner. I feel like we're giving away too many of our surprises here, but staying in Luxor that one night to have this dinner is absolutely perfect. And of course, it cuts down our flying time because, believe it or not, from Luxor down to Nairobi is one of the longest sectors. And once we arrive in Nairobi, it's straight onto light aircraft to get you out in the Masai Mara. So we do need the full morning and half the afternoon to do that because there's quite a little bit of air travel involved. But once you land in the Masai Mara, rest assured, even your transfer from the airport or the airstrip, let's call it, to Angama Mara, which is by far one of the best glamping experiences that you will ever have, and I'll touch on that in a minute. You will see wildlife going to the lodge. Now, don't forget, we do time this trip to work in conjunction with the mass migration, or the Great Migration, as it's sometimes called. So that is the animals moving north, looking for water, and you will see those massive amounts of wildebeest. You'll have the opportunity to see the big five. Just before COVID, I'm going to say in 2018 was my last trip to Africa on the private jet. We actually saw the big five on the way to the lodge. All of the big five, we ticked them off that afternoon. So there is a great opportunity to see this wonderful wildlife, and there's plenty to see and do. You'll have 2 full days to go out there and explore, and one of the mornings will be dedicated to a balloon flight. Now, balloon flights, they're exhilarating, but when you're looking at the masses of animals below, it just takes it to the next level. And one of the things I would ask you to watch out for if you do get the opportunity to do this is over the water pools. just watch the heads come up so majestically of the hippopotamus. It's a wonderful sensation just to see him popping up and down all the time. It almost reminds me of that silly game, those hungry hippos that we used to have to hit in the head when they bopped up. It is fascinating to see. But that balloon experience is just wonderful. And the breakfast in the bush thereafter is key to just top it all off. But 2 full days exploring in the wonderful game vehicles. We don't overcrowd the game vehicles. You've got about 4 people in there, and you really will work together to find some of the most unique animals and the biggest congestion of animals that the park has to offer in the Masai Mara. And don't forget the local experience as well. The cultural immersion of having the Masai Mara come and visit you at Angama. And that's a wonderful celebration within itself. You really get a true understanding of how these people live. As I said, it is glamping at its very best. So each room, if you like, is set up. You've got a separate bedroom to a living room, outdoor shower, beautiful ensuite, protected, of course, with fly netting and so on and so forth, and local Maasai troopers. Yeah. I wouldn't call them troopers maybe, but Maasai guides walking around, and especially in the evening, just to ensure that those big game animals don't disturb your sleep. But it is a truly unique experience. So Masai Mara, hopefully you'll tick off the big 5 quickly and then go and hunt for some of the more rare species. From the Masai Mara, we make our way to Rwanda. Now, visions of Rwanda aren't great for people that think back to the 80s and 90s. I can tell you Rwanda has come a long way. And you will see this. Once you land in Kimberley, you'll transfer to helicopters and fly out to Volcano National Park. Now, that helicopter flight, if you look closely, you'll see that Rwanda's doing a lot to really develop its farming, but also its cities. So I'll leave it at that, but you'll be pleasantly surprised how far they've come. As a matter of fact, most of the pilots for the helicopters were all trained in Australia, and most of them went to Monash University here in Melbourne. So there's a connection there as well. But we go to Rwanda for one reason, and that is the gorillas. And this is one of my favourite travel experiences. Now, the first time I had the opportunity to go to the gorillas, I was excited. I wasn't sure what to expect. And I thought, crikey, am I fit enough to go and hike 2 or 3 hours to see these wonderful animals? And I'd like to consider myself reasonably fit, but I wasn't sure. And then I saw how the staff operate in Rwanda and in Volcanoes National Park. There's about 11 or 12 different gorilla families that live in Volcanoes National Park, and they're closely monitored by trekking guides. Now, once you arrive at the guiding centre in the morning, you're divided up into fitness levels, what you feel comfortable with. So the guides will tell you, we have one family that's about 3 hours trekking away. We have one family that's very close to a path. So if you can't trek too far, this would be perfect for you. And it is just a wonderful way they do it. So I've done the 3-hour trek to find the gorillas, and that's really going through the thick bush and enjoying, I guess, the canopies and that enclosed feeling that forest gives you. And then to see the wonderful gorillas is just majestic. But at the same time, I've had a couple of people that haven't been too well with belly troubles and so on and so forth, who were going to skip the gorillas. And I've said, no, let's go and see what the guides can do for you. And they found a family that was coming into a potato field, a farming potato field. So they said, come with us. We'll put you in the middle of the potato patch, if you like, and we'll see if the gorillas come down. And sure enough, they came off the hill and came straight to us in that farming community, in that potato patch. And it was just absolutely wonderful. So if you have got reservations about, I don't know if I can walk comfortably for an hour or climb hills or so on and so forth, rest assured the team will do everything to make this as comfortable for you as possible. Now, a couple of the restrictions involved with the gorillas is, believe it or not, you're not allowed within 7 meters of a gorilla. It used to be 7. I got updated this morning and told post-COVID, they've increased that to 10 meters. But you'll see in just one moment that whilst you're not allowed to go within 10 meters of the gorilla, they can come within the 10 meters of you. Have a look at this little video.
Helen.
Now, that video is from our group that were there a week and a half ago. And actually, when I saw that video, I felt very sorry for the second gentleman standing in that line, because he looked like he was fumbling with his phone, and I certainly hope he got a recording of that. But that is not uncommon. They're very inquisitive. They're very comfortable with people being around, but you only get 1 hour with the gorillas, strictly 1 hour. And believe it or not, the silverbacks start to get a little bit grouchy and noisy when that hour comes around. So they're very protective of their families. But as I said, this is one of the most magical experiences that you will ever have. So from Rwanda, and some great shots there. You can see that thick forest. You can see the guides walking with you. It is a fabulous, fabulous experience. From there, we leave Kilgaley and we fly down to Livingston. We're there for Victoria Falls. Now, the beauty, again, of having your own aircraft is the opportunity with our aircraft to already start doing figure eights over Victoria Falls. So you get a sense of the scale of how big these falls are, and they are huge. Here's a picture of our group back in 2018. Quite a bit of off-spray coming there. And, of course, the good doctor and myself didn't get the ponchos there, so we got rather wet. But you'll be surprised how massive Victoria Falls are. And you'll get to experience that from the air in our aircraft, but also from the helicopters that we've got organised for you. So helicopter flights for everyone over Victoria Falls. If you don't want to take a helicopter flight, that's perfectly fine. Some people are slightly uncomfortable. We can make alternative arrangements for you. But we stay at the beautiful Royal Livingston Hotel. Now, the Royal Livingston Hotel is about 15 minutes walk from that bridge that you see on the left-hand side, yes, I guess the left-hand side image there, or where that photo's taken. About 15 minutes walk. So the Royal Livingston grounds actually form part of the river, Zambezi River, leading to the falls. What you can expect at Royal Livingston Hotel is, again, wildlife. You'll see plenty of wildlife. Zebra just walking through the grounds, an occasional giraffe. And please watch out for the monkeys. They ask you to lock your balcony doors because they've already been trained to simply pull doors open and go foraging for food. So you'll live as part of that wildlife scene there, but also have access to these great falls. There's a beautiful spot, and weather permitting, we'll have this most majestic dinner under the monkey tree at the Royal Livingston Hotel. You can hear the water running. Hopefully, if weather is perfect, we can encounter that dinner again. And from Livingston, we fly down to Pretoria. And in Pretoria, we join the beautiful Rous Rail. We're usually met by the owner of Rovos Rail, Rowan Boss. Rowan's been looking after our groups since, I'm going to say since 2000, when he started producing these wonderful trains that run throughout the southern part of Africa. Rowan will take you for a short stroll into the museum if they have time, whilst we have a lovely lunch come afternoon tea, and then we board this majestic, beautiful old train. Totally converted, absolute comfort, and you'll be spoiled by the staff. What I particularly like about having this train journey set right towards the end of the tour is, believe it or not, the first week and a half to 2 weeks is very busy. But I hope I've sort of demonstrated that you're going to experience an absolute highlight each day. So having some time on the train, 2 days on the train, just to unwind, to really connect with the people that you've met on the trip, and be assured that you'll be making new friends. Australians, New Zealanders, and a few English are the only people that travel with us. So we do get these like-minded communities traveling together, and often people make lifelong friends. So the train journey itself, it's quite exquisite. The service on board is beautiful and the meals are unbelievable for when you consider how they put those meals together on this train. We do have a couple of beautiful stops as well on our way to Cape Town, and one being the stop in Kimberley. Now, Kimberley is got the biggest open cut diamond mine in the world. It's no longer mined there, but be assured there's still plenty of diamonds in the area. So you get an opportunity just to have a guided tour of the area and the old town itself. But of course, the gift shops are key there for some of our visitors. If you're in the market for a very good diamond, certainly wait until you get to the Kimberley, because you'll be not only surprised by the prices, but surprised by the excellent quality of the diamonds still on offer in the area. And then we make our way to Cape Town. Now, Cape Town is a city that has come a long, long way. A lot of people envisage Cape Town to be rather rough, if you like. And don't get me wrong, there are sections of the town that still have that element, but they've done a lot of work in the harbourfront area. And that's where we'll stay, at the beautiful Cape Grace Hotel. Backdrop there, you'll see Table Mountain, which we'll explore separately. Now, there is so much to see and do in Cape Town itself. The harbour area, you can spend a whole afternoon just walking around the harbour area. Beautiful shops, buskers, lovely restaurants, which again we'll take advantage of at some stage. So time to unwind and really relax. The Cape Grace Hotel, as I said, it's one of my favourite hotels in the world, not only for its position, but what they've done there. Each room is individually furnished with furniture sought from all over Africa. So if you have the opportunity to stay there more than once, you'll note that your room is totally different each time. Plus, the whiskey bar, it's quite famous. Biggest collection of whiskies in the Southern Hemisphere. So do take the time in the evening to maybe have a nightcap of one of your favourite whiskies, or possibly try something new. But Cape Town itself and South Africa does have so much to offer, and be assured that we'll give you plenty of opportunity to personalise your touring. Whether it's going to the Cape of Good Hope, Robben Island, visiting the botanical gardens, or even some of the wonderful galleries there, the last 2 days are really centred around you. And of course, then we have a farewell dinner, and that's one surprise we will keep up our sleeve. But I can assure you, if you thought the welcome dinner was spectacular, you'll be just as impressed with the farewell dinner that we have as well. So that brings me to an end of the presentation, so I thank you. I have had one question come through, which I'd like to answer straight away. Does Rous Rail have private facilities? Well, indeed it does. The rooms are quite spacious. They're made up every day as a sitting cabin, and then in the evening turned down for you to sleep in. And they do have private shower facilities. Should you want to go one step further, they do have the owner's suite or 2 owner's suites on board, and that still has a 4-clawed bath in each cabin. So you'd have the bath and the shower facilities, but be quick, because those cabins are usually the first ones to go. So please, as I mentioned at the start, if you do want some more information, don't hesitate to contact our great team who will assist you where possible. Should you want to speak to me and ask me any questions, I'm always available. Happy to discuss any of our trips, but this is one of my favourites. So I was really pleased to have this opportunity to present this to you this morning. I thank you for your time. And as I said, should you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to call one of our team, and we look forward to seeing you somewhere in the world soon. Thank you.